All right, so Citi has purchased Screencast-O-Matic to a certain degree for the faculty to be able to make really fun, interesting, I shouldn't say fun, because you may not be a fun kind of person, but you may be a fun kind of person and you can make fun videos. But screencasting, I think, is pretty darn easy, and students really like hearing from you. And it takes, if you really like your PowerPoints, you can take your PowerPoints to the next level by using this tool. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, and you may want to write this down unless you can just do it along with me on your own computer. The website that you're going to go to is screencast-o-matic.com/RUCTEI. All right. So this is our Screencast-O-Matic team account. And you have two options while you are here. One is you can just start recording, but I think that the better thing to do is to download it. I want to give you one caveat. If you're using a Rush University computer to do this, you might have problems, okay? Downloading and installing onto a Rush device may not work, okay? Just, you gotta know that from the beginning. So I tell people, if you have your own laptop, you do this on your own laptop versus your Rush computer if you can, okay? Now, if you are on a Rush machine, you can try it, but I'm going to be probably 90% certain downloading and installing it is not going to work. There's a benefit to downloading and installing it versus just starting the recorder from here. Although you should be able to, if you were on a Rush machine, I think starting the recorder would be fine, okay? But you'll have to just test that out and see. But if you're not on a Rush computer, if you click download and install, it's probably going to be very confusing because I already have this installed on my Mac. But just follow the directions, okay? So we have a team plan. So once you click this download, there's going to be a box that pops up and it says something like individual plan, team plan, or whatever. And you have a team plan. And then it might ask you to enter something, and that's what you enter, RUCTEI. And then your computer will go about the business of getting it downloaded onto your machine. If you have problems in this process, just let me know. Send me an email and say, Angela, I'm having issues, and you can come up here, or we can meet virtually and I can look at your desktop virtually and see, or your laptop, see what's going on. Okay? Can you guys mute your microphones for me? I'm getting some kind of funky static in the background. So let's pretend that you already have Screencast-O-Matic downloaded onto your computer. Now I'm using a Mac, so for me it is going to look a little bit different than if you're on a PC. If you're on a PC and it gives you the option to create a shortcut on your desktop, make sure and click that box. That'll make it easier for you to use it whenever you want to use it. Okay? So what Screencast-O-Matic will let you do is it will let you record whatever is on your screen and your voice at the same time. Okay? So I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint. I don't use PowerPoint very often at all, actually. So I'm just going to grab somebody else's PowerPoint to use that as an example, okay? So All right, can you, somebody mute? Somebody's kind of loud. Can you mute your microphones? And if you want to talk, give me a chat in the chat box, and then I'll let you unmute and then talk. Okay, so here I have a PowerPoint presentation, and we'll just pretend that this is something that I'm going to teach. What I do with Screencast-O-Matic is I leave the presentation up just like this. Okay, I don't put it in slideshow mode or presentation mode. I leave it like this because I like being able to see what's forthcoming. Okay, so I can kind of prepare myself, prepare my mind. All right, I know what's coming next and what I need to talk about next. So I have my slides up, and then I'm going to open Screencast-O-Matic on my computer. On Macs, what it does is it shows a little blue circle with a blue circle in the middle of it at the very bottom. You can't see it because I'm only sharing a certain box. Are you able to see, I want to check this first, are you able to see a black box on your screen with Screencast-O-Matic in it? Or are you just seeing my browser? Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to go and share my desktop instead of what I was sharing before. All right, now that should be fixed. Right? Are we fixed? You can see the black box? Fantastic. Okay, so this is what happens. If you are new to Screencast-O-Matic, you are not going to have any recordings up here. All right, it'll be blank. What you do is click record. And what it does is launches a box, and whatever is within this box is what gets recorded. Okay, so you take your box and you move it, and you pull it, you click on these corners and you drag it into what exactly you want it to be recording. Okay, and that's what I want it to be recording, only this part of my PowerPoint presentation. Now, this box here gives you options. I don't suggest recording yourself and your screen, only because there is research out there that having your face and a recorded presentation can be distracting to your students. Not only that, but sometimes that video of you will cover your slides. It'll actually show up right here on the bottom right-hand corner, and sometimes your words get covered up by the video of yourself. So I know you might be super pretty or super handsome, but for screencasts, I would suggest keeping yourself out of it. You'll also see your narration box here. If you are talking and you don't see the green lines, then there's something wrong and your microphone's not being picked up. So you definitely don't want to start talking if you don't see those green lines moving. All right, so let's say everything's hunky-dory. We click the record button right here. It's going to count down, and now it's recording. And you'll see in this box right here will be how far we've come. This microphone goes from gray to black as I'm quiet, and then when I'm talking. So the gray is when I'm quiet, the black is when I'm talking. You can scroll through your PowerPoint slides either on the left-hand side, or with your arrow buttons, and you can just talk through your slides and move through your slides. Where your cursor is within this box, your cursor will be normally followed by or covered by like a gold circle in the recording. So wherever you go to click, it'll be like a highlight. If you click on something, let's say in your PowerPoint or whatever, it'll be highlighted in gold. Let's say you're taking your students on a web tour of a website. the same thing will happen. It'll record what's on your screen, and anything you click on will have like a gold circle around it so the students can follow what you clicked on in the recording. There's a button here. If you click that, it gives you some tools at the top. So it's a draw tool. So if you click that drop down here, you can select things, okay, that you want to, if you want to draw on the slide. Here are some colors, and then how thick of the line do you want it to be? Do you want to capture the cursor while you're drawing, or do you not want to capture the cursor while you're drawing? That's up to you. So while this is on, I can draw here, make a smiley face. I can point to something. I can underline it. And I can say, you have to know this for the exam, right? Read this, okay? So you can do that on the slide. And then once you're done, you can erase it if you want. Here's what I want to tell you. And this is where some faculty get stuck if they use the drawing tool. You can't move on to the next slide unless you turn it off. So here I'm going to the left, and I'm trying to click on that slide and it's not moving. That's because I've got this editing thing up. So if I unclick that pen and it's no longer hot, it's no longer white, and it's back to gray, then I'll be able to move through my slides. Okay, and yes, this is totally still recording me after 2 minutes and 58 seconds. I forgot to pause it. So I'm going to pause it, and let's say your dog barks, or you have kids at home and one literally starts banging on the door, screaming your name, wanting to know why you've locked him out of your office. Because that happens sometimes, okay? If something happens and you're in the middle of recording, let's say you're like 7 minutes in and just all you know what breaks loose where you're recording, you can go back and you can find that spot. So this is the little box, the blue box here is where you can kind of like go back to what you were doing before. So if I click, you just click with your cursor. So here I'm at 2 minutes and 28 seconds, and let's just pretend, okay, that something happened at 2 minutes and 28 seconds or thereabouts. So I'll play it. You can't move on to the next slide unless you turn it off. So here I'm going to so let's just pretend that's where my dog barked, okay? So what I'll do is I will truncate that recording back to this position and just keep going. Like I'll remember where I'll stop it when I pause. Usually that wasn't a good example. Like I'll stop it where I had a good pause and I know exactly what to start saying again. So if I click this, do you want to truncate your recording and continue at the current position? Yes. And there I go. And it keeps recording. Okay. Do I have any questions from anybody in the group so far about this tool? I don't want to get too far in unless you have questions. It really is very simple. Once you start using it, you'll probably be like, why haven't I been using this all my life? Because it's so easy to make instructional videos. I don't see any questions yet, but if I see some pop up, I'll stop. So let's say I'm done with my recording, my Screencast-O-Matic recording. I want to tell you that you want to keep these recordings at a reasonable length. Oh yeah, Gail, you can use it for the web. You can use it, whatever is on your screen. Do you want to know what else you can use it for? You can use it for student papers. So or assignments or projects. So if you have to grade student assignments, papers, projects, and you really get sick of either writing with your hand on their papers or making comments on a document and re-uploading the document, you can just pull up their paper right here on your screen, put a box around it, and talk through the feedback. As long as the student doesn't have any type of disability, you can just give them the link to your recording in their feedback in Blackboard. That's it. No more typing all this huge lengthy feedback. Give them the link. They can just go and watch it. And I think they also get it just better feedback. I think if you're just able to talk through it, and you can always pause, you know, you're recording, pause it, read the next page, you know, start recording again. It's pretty cool, I think, as a tool to be able to do really interesting stuff with it. Yeah, this tool isn't that powerful. However, okay, there's a caveat. Let's say you are really tech savvy. If you are really tech savvy, you can just keep recording and then go in and redo that later. But it's not with this tool. That would be with a different type of tool. Like I have a Mac, and so I use iMovie. So I will sometimes take my recordings from Screencast-O-Matic and make them really super pretty with iMovie. And with iMovie, you can go in and make those edits like you're talking about, quickly and pretty seamlessly. Or if you have these recordings and you just have one little mistake and you didn't notice it, let's say like you're recording, and then there's one part where the L is so loud in the background and you're like, oh my gosh, I so don't want to redo this whole thing. You can come upstairs. We have a fantastic new person who works for Citi called Pega, and Pega is a master at all things video. And she has a Mac, and she would be able to actually take your video and help you fix it. So there's always that as a possibility too, but not in Screencast-O-Matic. You can't just like, yeah, that's a little bit fancy for this. So yeah, back to that. So that you can do papers, so anything, and it's pretty neat. MP4. MP4 file. And when you download, when I show you the options for publishing, there are several different options with Screencast-O-Matic too. Okay, so let's say I'm done with my recording. What I was saying previously, that I think I got distracted by something else, a different topic or a question or something like that. You want to keep your recordings at a decent length for students to watch. Less than 10 minutes is really ideal. So if you have a 3-hour-long lecture and you want to make some instructional videos on that lecture, what I would suggest that you do is, like, let's just pretend here. Oh, look, here's a perfect example, this slide here. So let's say I'm going to take the first 7 slides. That's probably kind of short, but let's just pretend the first 7 slides are going to take me 10 minutes. I'm going to stop there. And if I don't have a subject slide or a new title slide is what I was looking for. If I don't have a title slide, just add another title slide. And so make your second video really focus. Make sure you have a nice slide like this, okay, that gives the students an idea of what you're going to be talking about next. So make those ahead of time, and that way you can take that really super long PowerPoint and make it into maybe 3 or 4 shorter videos for your students, okay? Please do not record, please don't record hour-long lectures. People, yeah, try not to do that. If you don't know how to break up your PowerPoint, okay, into smaller bits, if you're so used to your content and you just can't see another way of doing it, please come and see us, and an instructional designer will be absolutely willing to help you find the natural breaks in your content. All right, so once we are done, we click the button called Done. You don't want to click this, which is a trash can, okay? Unless, of course, you want to trash that whole thing and not do it, you click the trash can. So let's click done. And here's what you're going to see. You're going to see 3 options here. What I suggest for everyone, okay, is to save it as a video file to your own computer. However, if you are using this for student paper feedback, it might be easier and quicker to upload it to Screencast-O-Matic, okay? If you upload it to Screencast-O-Matic, you know what? Don't take my word for that yet, because we have a team site, I wonder if all of your videos will go in there together. We'll have to try it, because I don't want you to do that if your feedback to your student goes into a public site. That would not be cool for HIPAA. But if it's your own individual place where it's saved, I think that then that's okay, because nobody has access to that but you. But don't do that unless we verify that. If you save it as a video file to your computer, which is what I do almost all the time, you click that, and it saves as an MP4, and make sure that your file name is something very easy for you to remember. Very easy for you to be able to find it and know exactly what it is that you recorded. Okay, so I'm going to call that demo recording, and I'm going to save that in documents. I would normally not put it there, but that's where I want to put it there for today. So if you have captions, if you click add new here, you can actually grab a caption file. But if you use YouTube, using YouTube is an easy way to be able to have, to use captions and not have to write everything out, okay? But if you already have a script, like if you are uncomfortable just talking off the cuff, okay, and you write out your script anyway, it would be a perfect way for you to actually upload that type of thing. So you can look at the tutorials. I don't know why that popped up. No, that's not what I want to do. Well, there it goes. Now it disappeared. Okay. So once I do that, I'm going to click publish. And depending on the length of the file, I mean, bigger files will obviously take a while, okay? You don't want to take this raw MP4 file and put it in Blackboard, because there are no captions, all right? That's why I suggest using YouTube. If you don't have your own YouTube account, we have one in City. I don't see why faculty wouldn't be able to borrow that YouTube account. If you don't want, yes, MP4 is compatible with PC and Mac. If you don't want everybody and their brother and sister and Aunt May watching your videos, you can always leave them as unpublished in YouTube. And if you leave them unpublished, people can't find them or see them, okay? I mean, maybe like some random person who works for YouTube might be able to like see it. I can't promise that, but I think it's pretty rare for that to happen. So using unlisted is generally a pretty good practice if you want to keep something private and still use the host. Now, we should be getting something called Microsoft Stream through Rush, which is in Office 365. That's a good host for video content. So until we get that, and that's provided to everybody widespread, you have to figure something out. So let's see what we're going to do for publishing that. I'm going to pull this down a little bit and go into YouTube. And so this is a different account. So let me sign out and then sign into the City account in YouTube. unless it's just being persnickety, which it might be being perstickety. While it's doing that, let's go into Blackboard. So in Blackboard, you have a couple of options, okay, for adding video content. One of the options is this button right here. And if you click that button, you can actually upload. Wow, it doesn't have MP4? Another reason why I'm really not a big fan of Blackboard. I probably shouldn't be saying that because this is recorded and it's going to be on the website. But I'm very shocked that there's not an MP4 format here in Blackboard. That's just crazy. All right, so we won't talk about that. QuickTime, it's not a QuickTime. It's not that either. What the heck? Okay, so ignore that. We're not going to do that. So let's see. Sign in. Syncing is paused. Okay. Peg. What's wrong with our account? Did somebody change the password? Hold on, give me a second, guys. MP4s can be played through QuickTime, but that's not the only way to do it. Okay, so if this is not, if my password to get into this is not working. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. So let me go into my account. What in the world is going on? I think it's because I have way too many. Oh, look, I have two. Let's try this one. Okay, so now it's deciding to work. Don't know what's going on with the universe. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So we have the City YouTube account, and we're going to click on this little video icon right here, and we're going to upload a video. You can drag and drop your video, but I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna go grab it. And this is where you do a lot of your information about your video. So I might call it demo recording. And over here on the right-hand side, I don't want this to be public. I would like to keep that unlisted. So that's where I do that. Right here, it says your video is going to be live at blah, blah, blah. Once it's done, it's almost done. In Blackboard, I'd rather not use this to give to my students. I would rather the video be embedded for my students. And if you click embed, you're going to get a code with HTML in it, and we're going to copy that code. Let's go into Blackboard. And the way that I like to do video content in Blackboard is I like to use HTML mode. And you can go back and review this video later if you need help to remind yourself how to do this. So I will put all of my text content first before I get myself into HTML mode. All right, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is click HTML here on the editor bar, and right where my cursor is sitting, I'm going to paste that code. All right, and hit update and then submit. So this can go pretty much anywhere in Blackboard. I used announcements as an example. It doesn't matter. You can put it in an item. You can add it to pretty much anywhere in your class that you want to add it. It's done the exact same way. So the students will be able to hit play. They'd be able to turn on closed captioning. They'd be able to put it full screen and play it right in Blackboard. See? And then when I'm talking. So the gray is when I'm quiet, the black is when I'm talking. If you want to give your students a private icon, that's where we will have to talk about that for their paper. I just want to make sure that your screencasts stay in your account, your part of Screencast-O-Matic, and are not shared. So if any one of you wants to play with Screencast-O-Matic and you download it, if you load a random video, like it doesn't, I'm talking like something you don't care if other people see it. It could be just you playing or whatever. If you load that into Screencast-O-Matic, then I think we'll be able to see if everybody's random videos end up showing up in this account, okay? I don't think they do. I think that once you download, like I know these ones, okay, who made those. I just want to see for sure. So we'll work on that bit. Other than that, do you have questions about Screencast-O-Matic and how to record or publish or anything like that? All right. If you have questions, yeah, that's fine. Try it out. See how it is. The optimum time for a video, I think for me, not for me, but from what I know of research, is about 6 or 7 minutes. I think you can push that a little bit, especially for really, really dedicated students. But if you want to try to keep yourself about that level, I think that that's a good time. And if you have issues when you're trying to play, reach out to us and we can get you some individual help with making these recordings. So if you don't have any other questions, this was hopefully a quick workshop. Didn't take up a whole lot of your time. And hopefully you'll be able to put it to good use and make some pretty awesome instructional videos for your students.